I am GastricRose. I have been out 12 years. I had gastric bypass. My sister, my twin, she's actually filming. She was the first recipient of the WSFA. I'm not going to go into my story really quick, but if you want to know about me, I'm on GastricRose on YouTube. I've been on YouTube since 2000. I started watching in 2007 because of my sister, and I started making videos. I was forced into making videos in 2008, and I have a little over 2,000. I had a little over 2,000 videos. I cleaned my spot up a little bit. I'm down to about 1,500 videos. So I don't begin with my story because I didn't start on YouTube when I started my journey. My journey started at 487 pounds, and I landed around the 180s, 190s, where my body's comfortable. And I've maintained for 12 years, so that's 300 pounds lost. So, yeah. So what I learned through my journey, and if you go back to my videos, I've been through a lot. And I think a lot of us go through all kinds of issues when we're obese, right? We don't look at an obese person and just think that they're lazy, right? There's always something, there's some issues, you know, and we have to deal with them. And one of my things that I want to talk about today, I have many that I would love to talk about, and I do. I have, on my YouTube channel, I have Coffee Talk. People send me questions. It started a long time ago. People would send me messages. On YouTube, it was easy to send messages. Not anymore. But before, you could send me a message, and they would say, could you do a coffee talk for me? Or could you answer me a question? And then it turned into Coffee Talk. And so I was able to relate with people, and they were able to relate to me. But I always, somehow, I have walked in the shoes that people were asking me the questions, right? Have you ever experienced this? And it became personal. Some things were very personal. Have you experienced this with your husband? Have you experienced this with your daughters? Have you experienced it? And it became personal. One day, Dee Dee Bailey, a beautiful soul, she's had a gastric bypass as well, she started calling me Mama, and it just took off. And so that's not, I'm not trying to pretend to be anybody's mama. I have two beautiful daughters, and one sitting over here, and she also has had VSG. And so anyway, my problem was trying to find acceptance. I couldn't find acceptance, and I had issues. And in my journey, I started realizing that it's all ups and downs, and it's not ever going to be perfect. You know, we think, or I thought, and I want to really say I don't really want to say we, but I want to make sure that I'm speaking about me, not about anybody in this room. The issue with acceptance was that I thought that if I saw a skinny person, that person didn't have any problems. She didn't have any knee issues. She didn't have any health problems. She didn't, you know, she was not lazy. She had it all together. And that's not what's happening, right? We realize now that that's not what's happening. They're not any better than we are, that we're obese, you know? And for some reason, society has us thinking that we can't accept ourselves. And the first word, I had to learn to appreciate. I'm such a crybaby, I'm going to start crying. To appreciate what I had. Okay, what did I have? I was 487 pounds. I had my job. I was a school teacher. I had children that were very honest with me and told me that I was fat, because that's the word they used. But I didn't learn, I learned for those words not to offend me because they were telling me the truth. But I did have to educate them and tell them that we come in all sizes. And, you know, if you see a parent and they call the teacher fat and they don't do anything about it, then we have to do the educating, right? It's usually the teacher that has to educate, because some parents, not all parents, they speak at home and they say, yes, I know, because I was told on many occasions, if they're hearing the negative at home, they're bringing the negative to school. So I got a lot of negative. I got a lot of negative that landed, and I learned to appreciate the words that were brought to me, and I learned to turn the words around. If I was being given negative, I was turning it to positive, because I didn't know how to do anything else. And if you know me, you know I wear my heart on my sleeve, so there will be tears. But I learned at that time, when I was just starting to teach, was that I had to teach the children that what they were being taught at home was not what was reality. And they learned to love me. Amen. You know, my daughter's a witness to it. They learned to love their teacher. And they didn't see a fat teacher anymore. So I learned to appreciate everything that I had around me. In my journey, I've had to learn to commit. This is not a game. This is not something that I took for granted. I keep saying, I need to say I. I didn't take it for granted. I was given an opportunity. I was given a gift. And I had to learn to commit to it. Was it easy? No. I had 300 pounds to take off. I didn't have 50. Lord, I just, you know, and then the last 50, you wish 50 more pounds, you know, but you've gone through 300. And I had to learn to commit to that. And I still have to commit to that. I still have to commit to that. It's never going to be easy. It's never going to be over. And if anybody tells you it's easy, bring them to me. Yeah. Bring them to me. Because it's not over until you have some dirt on you. It's not over. It's never going to be over. But if we can tell people and show people how committed we are, then they know they've got an extra chance too, you know? And so I was committed. It's also consistency. You've got to be consistent. Why? Because if you're not consistent, it goes south. Just like my boobs, they went south. And you have to be consistent. Am I saying that I don't have, like Oprah, bread? Every day she wants to have bread every day. You know, that's going to catch up with you. But if you're going to have a sandwich, you know, you learn to what kind of bread, flat bread or whatever. You learn the good habits, the life-changing habits. That's what we want to be consistent about. The life-changing things, you know. If you want a sandwich, heck yeah, I'm going to eat a sandwich. I'm going to get one piece of bread and make a sandwich. I can't eat a whole sandwich anyway. Yes, my pouch is still small. Yes, I still foam at 12 years out. And no, there's nothing wrong with you if you don't foam and you don't fill up with a half a sandwich. There's nothing wrong. Everybody has their stomachs different. We do not all have the same shape of stomach. And I've heard this over and over and over again. I'm like, you know, and I was so grateful when I got my test done here recently, last year, and it still looked like a walnut. I'm like, well, I know I'm eating more than a walnut. And the doctor goes, well, you have to chew it, right? But I do get full faster, and I have to stop. I still have the tool working for me. And if you're gaining weight, you know, there's things that you have to stop, right? But does that make my body shrink like this? I think that every year we want to be smaller, right? And if we don't get there, we have failed. But how many of us here have been able to maintain at least a year? At least a year. That's amazing. I mean, we don't give ourselves enough credit for that. You know, we think, oh, I'm not as skinny as so-and-so, or, oh, she lost 50 pounds, and I must be lazy because I didn't lose 50 pounds this year. But, honey, I maintained. How many years was I ever able to maintain? Never. I'm going to tell you, never. I would start the year with a diet, lose 100 pounds. With at the end of the year, I was already 150 more.
Yep.
And that's no joke. I had to encourage myself. I have another E here. You can't see it hardly, but it says exist. I had to learn that I wasn't just existing anymore, because I was at one time just existing. I was going from my job to my house. And my job happened to be my church, so I'd go from my job back to the building that I was in. So it was like the building, my home, the building, my home. If I wanted groceries and the girls got old enough to read a list, I was like, here's the list, go into the grocery store, get me some bread, get me this. I would cut vegetables and stuff at the table when I was cooking, sitting down, because my knees couldn't handle it anymore. I worked all day. I ironed sitting down. I'm OCD, and my husband wanted his shirts ironed. Yes, I had that kind of husband.
You
and,
had.
I was going to say, it's not this.
Tuesdays, yes, my first husband,
Oh,
her daddy.
wrong one. Sorry.
And he wanted his shirts and things ironed. Tuesdays and Thursdays was my day, and that's what he wanted me. He wanted to see me ironing, so that's what I did.
You wash, iron clothes, and then hang up.
Then I had to find peace. How do you do that? How do you do that?
Acceptance.
Yeah, you have to accept, but you know what? You have to forgive yourself. I had to learn to forgive myself for the things that I thought that I had done wrong. When really, in reality, there was things in my life I couldn't find peace. I was abused at a very young age, 6 years old, all the way up until 13, 14. And I had to learn to forgive the people that were in my life that had done that to me. But if I had not done that, I would not have found the peace in my heart and the love in my heart for all of the people that asked me these personal questions. Who knew that I could do that on a YouTube channel? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to put it out there because I know that these people really need peace. They need to know what I have already found. If you find peace, you find gold. When you're at home and you're arguing about something that is so crazy, with your husband or your children or whatever, and there's no peace, you have this it's constant. It's like the raindrops constantly on your head, right? But when you let it go, and those things are not important, life is so short, and you forgive, you've given yourself something. You've given yourself peace. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I had to find myself and find enough time for myself. We're mothers. We're daughters. My mother at the time was living with me, and my mother passed away, and then my husband passed away, my first husband. And I had no time. There was no more time for me. There was just time to try and figure out how my life was going to get back, where it needed to be. And I knew that the time that I had was not much. I knew that I would be the next one to die. My husband died of a heart attack in the arms of another woman. That's another thing. And I know it's hard for my daughter to hear this right now, but it's true. And it's not like I didn't put it out there on YouTube, so she knows that. And she's my biggest supporter. But that doesn't mean that he was a bad father. He wasn't a good husband. It's totally two different things. So I had to find time for myself and learn to process the time. Because if you don't, your life doesn't go like this. It goes like this and then down. Because you begin to be overwhelmed with your life. But if you found peace and you have found time for yourself and you're able to process that, then all these things are going to take its course. It's going to take its time. It's going to do what it's got to do. And your life is going to change for the better. I had to learn to accept what king. Yes, I've been through a lot. Yes, I have found peace. And yes, I had to learn to accept this body. I started 487. My body, I don't even know how I walk. People ask me all the time, how did you walk? I don't even know how I walk. All I know is that I hurt. I mean, my stomach come down to here at 487 pounds. I had them all straight. Well, I think that happened because I was on diets and I would lose and I would gain. And so maybe that's why I had stomach down to here. But I was a ball. But then I lost all the weight, right? And then I had plastics, and I almost died from plastic. That's another story. You have to go to my videos. So I have a long life. I hope to continue my life further. That's why I'm adding years to it, right? And living the way I live. But the acceptance of this body, and, you know, my best friend is back there about to walk out. She always, I love you.
I say, you know, I was.
She always tells me, you know, I talk about my hips all the time. And, you know, we both discuss each other's issues. She's got her stomach, I've got my hips. And then, Takesha's not in here. I wish she was in here. It was so funny. She says, I can't even do it. She says, she said, I want to just tell you that you are, how did she do it?
Bling bam bloom or something.
Yeah. She, you know, and how did she do it, Precious?
I would say, oh.
And you know what? That was so simple, right? And it made me laugh. But she's right. What am I hiding? Why am I hiding? I have got a body that some people have one J-Lo butt. Other people wish they had two J-Lo butts. I have learned to accept myself. I have so many people that say to me, well, I don't have, you know, the model body. Who does? Who does?
Models don't even have model butts. Trust me, I know. I've seen them naked.
And then we get to the point where we loathe ourselves after we've lost 300 pounds. How can I loathe myself? I have to love myself. I've done great.
Yes, you have.
You know, you've done great. Everybody say, I've
Done great.
You've done fantastic. And when I tell you that on your videos, and I tell you you're doing fantastic, and sometimes I'm constantly reminding you to embrace yourself, is because you need to. Because I had to. I'm living these words. I'm walking in these words. Then I had to learn to be nice to myself. You know, I could use another word, but I said, you know what? I think I'm going to use the word nice. You know why? Don't have much money. If you know me, my husband got hurt and we're living on disability. But you know what? I had to be nice to me. And every once in a while, I like going shopping. And if you know me, you know I shop at the thrift. And you know, that is my nice time. I have also a big big tub that was given to me. The ranch had a tub, and I had a regular tub in my apartment, but they had a claw tub, and it was sitting outside in the rain, getting all rusty. And I said, I would love that claw. I just said it out loud. And the next day, the owner comes to me and says, you know, that tub's been sitting out there. Would you like to have that inside your apartment? So I had to learn to confess with my voice what I want. I will literally say, before I walk in that thrift, I'm looking for this and this and this. And do you know I walk out with this and this and this? I had to learn to speak nice things to myself as well. You know? Some people last night were telling me, I don't want to do a video. I want to be private. That's fine and dandy. But you know what? Speak to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Tell yourself, you know, you look good. What you speak is going to bounce back at you. People are going to see it. This is a true story. I was in the restaurant over here. I don't know, this lady from Adam. They were here for the another conference this week. And she comes up to me, and she's like, very serious. And I'm walking along, Rosemary, hi everybody. And she's like, stops me like this. And she says, you have this aura about you. And she's just as straight face as she can be. And I'm like, okay, what do I say to this? Do I say thank you? Do I say hello? What do I say? I say, oh, are you from the WSFA? No. I just want you to know that you are shining. And I thought, that's what I want to project.
That's right.
I wake up every day and ask God, you know, and I don't have to be a religious person to ask God anything. You know, I just want him to walk before me.
Amen.
You know, I want his words to be spoken. If you needed to hear that today, there's times, and people in this room know this because this is some of the people I've already spoken to, but sometimes I have you on my mind and I don't know why. You just come to my mind, and I will call or I will text you. Are you okay? I'm thinking about you. And they're like, how did you know? What happened? Who told you? Nobody told you. So if you speak, you know, you'll hear. Or if you're just quiet enough, you'll hear what you need to hear. Then, this is the hardest one, I think, is I had to find confidence to wear some of these things I wear that show my butt and show my hips. Because I wanted to hide it in, my daughters call it maternity clothes. I used to wear the dresses that stop here and then flow here because I didn't want to show my curves. And they would tell me, Mom, you're not pregnant. Get out of those clothes.
Thank you.
Well, you know what? Patty Cake is one of the ones that showed me that I could do this. So I'm glad she's here. Thank you, Patty. You know how much I love you. She's one of the ones that said, you know what? And she didn't say it. She did videos back in the day. She don't do videos no more. Bad Patty. But she was the one that showed me that, you know, you can show it. You don't have to, you know, strip. You don't have to be up to here, but you can show it and be happy about it. And have the confidence to go forward in your journey.
And by the way, I'm really liking your outfit today.
Me too.
All from your thrift. And the last thing, I don't even think I have to tell you what this word is. If you know me, say the word that I say almost in every video and I comment to you. The word is embrace yourself. Embrace life. Embrace you. Embrace the freedoms. At one time, I used to say non-scale victory. If you know me, you don't see very much non-scale victory that I say. I say free. Freedom. Why? Because I couldn't walk before. I can run today. I can't today because of my knees. But I am free to do all the things that I only imagined. It's not what I couldn't do anymore. I look forward to what are the things that I can do. And if I can't seem to do them manually, I find a way to do them another way. You know, I've learned to embrace that a negative can be changed into a positive all the time. Anywhere you're at. You had a problem today or yesterday or I don't know. You can change it for the better. You can change to ignore the issue or be happy about it, or someone offended you. You could also say in your brain, you know what? She's having a bad day. I'm going to let it go. Let it go. I would like, I was supposed to pass out papers, but then I couldn't find my pens. But I would like for you to, if you have a question for me, you know, go ahead and I'll answer it now. But also go to YouTube and send me your coffee talk questions. And they can be as, you know, I will never reveal your name. You can ask me anything. And again, if you know me, I answer lots of questions. So, and personal and how to deal with all kinds of issues. So feel free to, send me a comment on Facebook or on YouTube or whatever. But is there any questions?
How do you embrace any guidance that's negative about you having surgery?
You know what? You have to live by example, right? But at the same time, if they have anything negative to say, you have to switch it. Like what? Give me an example, and I'll switch it for you.
Diminish your work or
Just give me. What would somebody tell you?
well, I haven't
Of course you lost weight. You had surgery.
I sure did, and I'm living better in my life now. My lifestyle has changed forever. I didn't know the things that I know now. Wow. Can you know, I used to eat like this, and now I eat like this, and I've given myself years for my children. They look at you and they go, oh, okay. They're like, what? They're not gonna, after that love that you just gave them, they're not gonna go, oh, whatever. No, they're gonna go, oh, wow. We're educating people. And you educate them with love and kindness. And no matter how much hate I get for some reason, and I do get it. I do get it.
You're getting lots of hearts on your live stream, just so you know.
Yeah. Hey, people! But no matter how many comments I get that sometimes are negative, there's always a positive. They took the time to write to me. There was one time that I did a video, and it wasn't too long ago, maybe 3 years ago. Someone said, why are you talking about weight loss? Don't you know that you're still a fat ass? And he did it so many times that I had to, finally say, you know what? If this guy comes out and tells my friends this, that's going to really bother me. So let me just make a video to this man. And I did. I made a video, and it's called Yes, I Am a Fat Ass. And I gave him love. And shortly after, about a week later, I had already deleted the thing, and I never shouted him out. He wrote me back, and he appreciated the fact that I did not blow him out of the water. You show people love, and they begin to learn love. Doesn't mean that they're going to have love, but they're learning. Not all of us were raised with. My mama was very rough with me, both Connie and I. My mom would say, you got to do it. You got to be strong. In this world, weaklings do not survive. And I thought, but I'm only 10. But she would say that to me all my life. Weaklings do not survive. I didn't raise my children that way, because it's okay to be weak. You have to learn to be strong, and it takes a process in anything that we do. So.
That's why we call you Mama.
Yes.
So for that, I thank you for coming. I thank you for everything. Is there any more questions?
Mine's not a question, it's a comment. I've found that negative, I surround people, I'm drawn to these people that are negative. But that anyway, I'm only responsible for what I do in this world. And I don't take the burden on for what somebody else does or what they think or what they say. And I have to remind myself, I'm only responsible for how I react and I put my boundaries up. And if it hurts me, then I know I have to put a boundary up because I know what I'm doing.
But if you do not speak your truth.
Oh, I say my truth. But I'm saying at the point where you say it and they don't accept it, I'm only responsible.
Yeah,
that's right.
Then you can't do anything else
That's
about it.
right.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. But at the same time, if you just speak a little love and kindness to somebody,
Yeah.
they're able to.
I
They
turn
won't
around
be
and
able
say,
to do
kick the
that
other
again.
side. Kick the other side.
They won't be able to do that again.
Right. Yes.
And if they do it again, shame on them.
Yes.
They're the ones that look bad, not you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I had to learn that when I was 487 pounds, because parents are cruel too.
Oh yeah.
And when my students, I had this little girl. Oh man, she loved her teachers. She loved GastricRose. I mean, well, I wasn't GastricRose. I was Ms. Gaitan. And she loved me. And she said, but my mommy and my daddy call you fat, and they say you're lazy. And everybody that knew me knew I was not lazy. And it was like a dagger in my heart. I would tell her, you know what? You go tell your mommy, you show mommy and daddy everything I do, and they'll see that I'm not lazy, right? But you know I'm not lazy. I would tell her, you know I'm not, right? She was, no, you're not. And then I would explain, well, what is lazy? You know, I would tell her, what do they think, what is lazy?
When I was
You know,
308,
and she would say fat.
when I was 318
So
pounds.
she had the lazy
Yeah.
with fat.
With
That's what she.
association, yeah. When I was 318 pounds, I remember going through and we live in a very small community. I mean, like super small. Everybody knows how much you got in the bank. And I remember going through the Acme, and a little girl said, look at how fat she is. And her mother didn't do anything. And of course, this was years ago before I had education. I said, yeah, well, I said, I might be fat, I can get skinny, but your mother's ugly. But that was bad. I know it was bad. But I just, that's how I came back. I wouldn't do that
If you
today.
fight fire with fire, you're only gonna get fire.
I know, I wouldn't do it today, but that's how I reacted as
Yeah.
somebody without education.
Yeah.
And now, especially as people here that have had weight loss surgery, and you see how other people that get ridiculed, or you'll walk by and they'll say, look at that person. And you think, you have to pray for them, because not the person that's heavy, the person that's saying
Well, look at this. I am speaking to you guys on YouTube, on Facebook, up here, once a year, maybe. I'm dyslexic. I didn't understand how anybody wants to even hear me, because sometimes I will talk to you and I'm like, I can't even get the words out. How can I even be a speaker? You're listening. You're loving what I'm saying.
we love you.
I have to be kind to myself and say, you got to talk, Rosemary. You got to explain to people that it's possible. Precious, what were you saying?
On my videos, I've been open about, I pray for those who are subscribed to me, those who are subscribed for. I pray for everyone. And I just have to say, I thank you for allowing God to use you.
Amen.
I thank you for following.
Yes.
And it's great. I really do, because when you comment and you're so sincere with it and love and hug, that really touches people, because they don't get that love and hug from family around them or friends around them, and it really does touch people. And you just need to know how amazing you are, how your light shines.
It
Thank
does.
you.
Indeed.
That's God intended us to be.
It's that aura, yeah.
It is.
And you know what? I'm not preachy. Come on, I'm not preachy. I'm not preaching to anybody. I don't even. There's not even a scripture. Well, every once in a while, but I just want people to know that I don't walk. There's someone that walks in front of me, and he's directing my path, and everybody knows it. And when I say quotes, now that we're here, I got and then since I'm going to be on YouTube, I did get a comment from someone that said that I should give credit where credit is due. I always give credit to credit is due. If for some reason Kathy said something to me, I'll say, oh wow, Kathy said this and this and this and this. I love giving credit to this community. There's people that won't even say your name. Why? I don't know. I don't want to give her any people. Well, I don't have any commercials on my videos. I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid. Just saying.
I just want to say, while we're all here, thank you to your daughter. Because you allow all of us and your mom to do what she does, and that's a part of you. And that's, you're sharing her with us, your time, the stories, like she said before. She's sharing something that's part of her story, but it's also part of yours.
Yeah, and I was actually going to piggyback off of what Precious said, and I could have had the surgery a long time ago. My mom had it, my aunt had it, and I went through a lot when my mom had it, and then the plastic surgery as well. We went through a lot. And, it was, okay, so I'll give an example. Someone was telling me, oh my God, your mom is Mama Rose, oh my goodness. And I was like, yeah. And I don't have that reaction just because I don't think that my mom is an amazing woman, because trust me, look at me and you see what an amazing woman she is. And I'm taking whatever she's teaching and showing you guys and teaching that to my daughter as well. And the reaction inside is, I wish you could see my aura whenever I hear and see this. I'm just amazed. But she's my mom. That's my mother. And because I don't have that reaction on the outside, love that I have for this woman is amazing. I mean, after, again, I could have had the surgery a long time ago. I got super sick, had high blood pressure, my father did die of a heart attack, diabetes runs in my family, and one night after work, I was feeling really ill. And so it was just me and my daughter. I couldn't get anyone to watch her. There I am in the emergency room on the table, blood pressure 180 over 160, about to have a stroke. The doctor literally says, "You are about to stroke out." And my daughter's standing next to me, and, "Mommy, are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine." Putting on this face where
We're crying.
We get some Kleenex. Kleenex in the house.
That was the night. That was the night I said, okay, this isn't for looks. This is for my health. I have no choice. And my mom is a total witness to this. I went to True Results. It was going to be way too much, and I called and I said, I can't afford it. And then they called me back and say, "No, we can help you. We can help you." And when they called and said, "Here, you're going to pay this, and that's it," and I was just, "Are you sure?" And we went through all of it, and finally,
That's how God works.
That's how God
Exactly.
works. And like my mom said, I confessed it. I was like, "God, if this is what you want, this is what's going to happen." And I came to her and I finally told her, "Well, I'm going to come." And the reaction of my aunt and my mom.
Oh, we can imagine.
I thank my aunt enough for being there. You know, I have two amazing women in my life. And just because my mom's in California, I have her twin, who is also my mother. And the way that they both took care of me, one, was there mentally and spiritually. The other one also there mentally, spiritually, but also physically. It's amazing to have these two women, just raise me up and say, "You can do it, you can do it." Because I still struggle. I'm a year and a half out. And
But you are half the woman you were.
And my mom tells me this, and a lot of people, I don't know if you've ever seen before pictures, but I still see that the pattern.
We all do. We all do inside of ourselves.
And I see all these other people who are a year out are just so much slimmer, and I'm like, what's wrong? What am I doing?
There's nothing wrong with you. That's it.
And I love that I came because I feel better now. I feel like it's okay. I'm okay. It'll get there. I'll get there. You know?
And it doesn't mean they're happier than
Yeah,
you, right?
You guys lift her up to be who she is, and I mean,
And do not feel guilty if you do lose in 6 months all your weight.
be happy.
That's amazing. That should be like, yes,
Yeah.
I did it. Some people are getting ridiculed because they lost weight in 6 months. Who does that?
Men.
No, I'm talking about people talking to people because they lost quickly. I've been seeing that on certain people's comments and videos, and I'm like, who does that? Why would you say that to that person? You should be like, yes, cheer. I'm your best cheerleader. I'm just saying.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
To all of us. Yep. And I'm older, and she's my mother too.
I was in one of the sections yesterday, I think Wendy, and she said, "Don't let someone else's best moment make you feel like it's your worst moment." And that just really takes me to, like you said, the 6 months, because everyone knows me and Precious, we share same surgery date, pretty much the same amount of pounds lost at the same time, and we're just almost at 7 months. And we've lost a tremendous amount in a short time, and I know that we have a follower on YouTube where her journey hasn't been as fast, and I constantly try to reassure her that, your journey is different than my journey. And
Your
my journey-
metabolism is
Exactly.
different.
My journey, we started at different weights and everything, but
I actually had a test done when I was losing my weight. The doctor wanted to know why I might not. The doctor wanted to know why I wasn't losing fast enough. The doctor. So he gave me that test where you blow in. I'm terrible at names.
Yes,
What is it?
metabolism.
You breathe into it and you run.
Pulmonary function
Get on a
test.
bike.
I did it.
and you're breathing like a crazy person. And my metabolism, he said, you're going to have to work for every pound you take off. That's it. I'm sorry, but that's your metabolism. And I looked at him and I'm like, I thought I was defeated. I thought, okay, it's going to fail.
You know what?
I can't do it.
I had the same experience. I went for my follow-up, and I saw the nurse practitioner who wasn't my surgeon, and she was like, "Oh, you're just this. You should have been this."
Oh, just.
And all I could say was, in my head, because I didn't want to offend her. I didn't know this woman. She never saw me before or after. And all I could say to myself was, okay, I may not be where you want me to be, but I sure as hell am not where I was.
Yes.
And I'm sorry for that.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite quotes. I don't know who said it though. But yes, it took me a long time to realize that my okay, when the doctor told me that, I cried with Connie and I was like, another diet that's not going to work. But I pushed and pushed, and every year I seemed to get smaller. And every year I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and this is where I landed. This is where my body's comfortable. Am I comfortable? I could lose another 50 pounds and be happy. But my journey's not over. I still work on me. If I'm still here next year, am I going to be hated? Are you going to look at me different?
No.
Of course not. I was here last year. Did you hate me? No. You looked at me and went, wow, she maintained her weight. Mama can do it. I can do it. I'm 54 years old.
You know what, too? I was just talking to someone yesterday about this only because I'm getting older myself. But
Oh, by the way, I'm in menopause.
Oh, exactly. That's what I was bringing up. That a lot of women in our community don't realize. And I only speak for women because I'm a woman. I don't know what men go through in their older years. But there's lots of things that play a part that only works against us. You've got menopause. You've got hormones that are out of whack. You've got all these other things. And even for the women who are still taking birth control and all that all that stuff contributes to our, against us while we're doing everything we can. Sometimes you may gain some weight, sometimes you may not be able to lose it as quick because you have these other things going on. So it's, and nobody talks about that. So the doctors don't say, well, hey, what birth control are you on, or what stages of menopause are you on, or this or that or whatever, and they just, they don't even.
But even the ones that are making those comments on YouTube, they're beating themselves up for what?
Right.
For what? Why am I beating myself up? And I do mention that I'm in menopause because I want you to know my experience with menopause.
Yep.
I could be here another 10 years, the doctor said.
Yep.
And
I
I don't, okay, I hear on one hand I hear the doctor saying, you're going to have to work for every pound. Okay, and I have. And in other words, I have one, well, you might be there for 10 years. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to rejoice while I'm here. I'm going to have fun. And I'm going to do everything in my power to be happy about it.
Amen.
I'm joyful
Amen.
with this body.
8:45.
8:45, right on time. So if you came in late, it's going to be streamed live so you can hear it. And don't forget your cup. Everybody gets a cup.
Can Takesha give us that little phrase you were talking about?
Oh,
She's
my
in the
goodness.
room now.
Kikisha, I did speak about you. I put you
Yeah, and now we have to hear it. We have to hear it now.
And what I said to them was that when you did that yesterday, it was in fun. The chick. But you know what you gave me? You gave me a gift. You gave me the confidence to know that I'm okay. And that my body is, what'd you say? You can't even say it.
Say it, we want to hear it.
Oh. You got him. I love you, girl.
Oh.
I know, I can't.
Tears of love.
Aw.
Tears of love.
Because you give us that.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You know what? It's really hard for me sometimes to be up here because my words, I want to say so much, and I can't. I mean, I do. But there's so much that I want to tell each and every single one of you privately. Sometimes I do. I talk in people's ears, and and they go, "Who told you that?" But you know what? It's just a spirit about me. I'm not a. Somebody called me a gypsy last time. And I'm not a fortune teller. I'm just open. and everybody can do that. I want all of us to do that, you know. And when I share my love with you, it is not fake. I already have. You know, I was here in the conference. I get this message, and there are three women think that, and I don't even know if they're in this room. I don't know, but I got messages and said, what did they say, Patty? Was I posing
For
no,
all the pictures.
all of that is
For the hugs.
true.
Yes.
It's very, very true. It's very. I want you to know that, and when I want you to leave, knowing that, share that,
I
share that in
can't-
your video.
yeah.
Mama's for real.
I
She's faking
You
nothing.
feel it.
I can't get you to stop long enough to get a posed picture.
So I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Lovely friend.
And I didn't ask for that twin chair here. Oh, your cups, I can sign them, but outside. And, oh, sweetheart.
Okay, we're gonna end the live stream now. You wanna say bye, Rosemary? Say bye to your
Bye,
Facebook.
guys. Everybody say bye to me. They tell them,
Bye.
tell them to be here next year. Say, be here next year. Be here next year.
Bye from Nashville.